just picking a random spot in my Steam library and going down, playing a little bit of everything in here. Uh, in this case, I think yesterday was like all numbers and A's for the most part. So let me just give the rest of that long, long list of A games a rest and start down in the B's. Which, yeah, this isn't a bad place to start, I suppose.
I am also here, by the way.
Yep, this is my friend Hazel. She's super
Oh,
cool and is usually, I think every time I've actually been streaming, she's been in the background. So yeah.
oh yeah, I guess so.
But anyway, we are starting things off with a little bit of Telltale's Back to the Future, which I've actually played through the whole first episodes before, so not gonna spend a whole lot of time with it. But like, the idea is I am, well, hopefully, if this is not going to be doing a bunch of weird stuff with extra installations, just giving a quick little taste of things. If this is being pain, then I will just skip ahead to the next thing.
I'd be curious to see if it fixes our audio issues if you try screen sharing whatever the particular game window is to me in
Oh,
Discord after it's loaded.
that's a good thought too. Yeah. And yeah, if anybody has any weird like technical tips for better audio here, I'd love to hear them. I have a
Yeah, I'm
weird
usually
microphone setup.
commentating these on mute.
Mm. Also, is this going to actually load or what? Apparently Steam is. Oh, apparently Steam wants to download an update today, and I have been neglecting it. So one moment while I deal with that, and frankly restart Steam. Looks like.
In the interest of filling air, it's worth mentioning we were considering going back to that Else Heartbreak game and then maybe even like doing a punchy timing edited version where we just like um is there a term for that? That's like a whole genre now, where you just like you just do it like a gaming let's play, but you edit out all the silence. But that kind of thing for that
Mm,
game because it was so odd that
it's
we are like intrigued to go back and find out what its deal even is.
it's really captivating, and it's one of those rare cases where I don't want to just look up what it's about from other people because, like, playing it blind is so strange. It's just, is this horror? Is this a weird sci-fi story? Is this pure slice of life stuff? Is this literally all it seems to be from the first minute or so? Um,
When we
is
first
it a
started
dating
playing it, I
sim?
was, oh yeah, I was expecting it to be like really insufferable too between the title and you got a protagonist with a wool cap and a circle scarf on. It's like, oh, it's going to be like
Mm-hmm.
code. It makes you think about life and love
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. But we couldn't even figure out what the direction it was going was.
Yeah. So okay, Back to the Future is not playing happy with me, so we will start with Bad Hotel.
I guess I own a circle scarf, but I do not own a wool cap.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, this seems to be doing the windowed thing, perhaps.
I own 3 or 4 pairs of animal ears, which is much less cringy.
Mm. I'm against the word cringy at this point, honestly. It just feels too like looking down on people for being into things that I'm not into.
Yeah, that's a good point. I say it in a self-deprecating way, but I should probably remove it from my vocabulary even there
Mm.
because um the times that I could be using it, I could be saying that I'm wincing, not
Yep.
to mention, but it has this particular like tone to it now, you're right, especially since it seems to be like especially since it's targeted at stuff like women and queers like more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Okay, so let's see. Capture specific window. Do this one. And we'll attempt to do. Not that there's any sound yet here, but see how this goes. So yes, this is Bad Hotel. I have played this some in the past. I don't remember at all what it's about.
Oh, I'm getting the audio, so that
Okay.
worked. In fact, I'll stop looking at Twitch.
It is.
Or I'll keep the chat open so I can.
Well, Twitch is
I can do
actually
the
like
moderating
showing
I'm
this too,
definitely
right?
doing.
'Cause- yeah, there it is.
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Okay, so Bad Hotel. My understanding is you just kind of add stuff to a growing tower while trying to keep birds from destroying it by doing this. So it's kind of like a weird, aesthetically sim tower, functionally like missile command thing.
Oh, I mean, I know that birds flying into it is a concern when you're a tower architect, but I didn't know that like the flying into it with such strength and frequency that it destroys the tower proper was.
Well, I mean,
an
they are
issue.
carrying bombs.
Oh yes, you're right. I didn't notice.
And also, the more you have attached, the more money you make, but also costs 200 to add new room. And there are like very lax restrictions on what you can add. Really.
Intriguing concept. Do you know what the color coding on the progress bar refers to?
I have no idea. This is just one of the weirder finds in a batch of bundled games. That's rough.
Oh, I like
Ooh.
how the sound is being. Oh no! I like how the sound is being procedurally generated by the presence of each of the rooms. Like they seem to each be adding a note to that little melody.
And there are several different levels here. Let me just crush myself by playing on a harder one.
Get your ass to Mars.
Oh, and here it's actually apparently several types of rooms I can put in too, which is interesting. Let's see what they do. Okay, I've got actual like sniper towers I can add. Let's try this again. This I was not expecting.
I assume the plus sign is like kill adjacent tiles or something. Oh, they're aliens! It's not always birds.
And we have healing. Okay, so this is like now being more of a tower defense thing. This is certainly a thing. And I'm wondering if I skipped over some tutorials on how some of these work too. That's doing some work, so I'm getting one of those on there.
Oh, I love the music mechanics. That's really unique.
Okay, so the color coding is when there's going to be attack waves coming in, apparently. But yeah, this is a very like weird, simple, lower rent sort of game, and the premise is just bizarre. But I'm into it. Should not build those, whatever it is. And we still have the birds with bombs, of course, on top of the Martian invaders.
I respect this paradigm of design where one tries to take even the simplest mechanics and make just the acts of interacting with them as like pleasant and aesthetic as possible. I really wish every modern fighting game ripped off Killer Instinct's musical combo thing, because that's like one of the best features the whole genre has ever gotten.
I think you have a YouTube video showing off some of that, don't you? Somewhere?
Nope, just, well, I guess I kind of do in that I just went trying to go for like world record number of hits in a combo. I did that for a bit, but then people were very rude, so it took the fun out of it. They complained about me doing stuff like beginning combos on like trade hits with projectiles to get extra hits in it when it's an incredibly common combo video thing. I think they were just upset.
Lost my healing there.
Previous record holder like went to my channel and like systematically thumbs down all my videos.
Oof, that's awful. So yeah, I think okay. The last level I have on here is very tower defense. The first level is just add stuff to like block things. Let me take the time to. Okay, that is a link to a website with very simple instructions. Okay.
How curious, I'm getting like long pauses on Discord, but then I'm getting a relatively live stream on Twitch. Oh well, at least it's working there.
So let me just go into one of the intermediate levels here and... Okay, yeah. So we've got some...
I've hired some swimmers to attack you.
Okay, so I believe the idea now is I have more expensive rooms that generate cash faster. And a variety of things to... holy cow, this is really coming in. So yeah, you want to get your...
this dynamic music system.
Yep. So it's like, okay, get cash going by getting, you know, pricier stuff built up really high. Add towers and branch out sideways for defense. And just, you know, seeing a variety of levels here. Okay, so here we just have healing and height, apparently. So I'd imagine... And then use the cheap ones for just, emergency ablative plating. It's weird, but I'm into it. Like, and terrible at it. So yeah, that is Bad Hotel. It is a strange game.
Thumbs up from me.
And next there is, oh, a rather infamous one.
Oh.
Speaking of games with the title Bad.
We went through all the adventure yesterday, so these are all the capital B Bat games today.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I am familiar with this from other people streaming it. It is, like, one of those things people give each other as a, like, terrible gag gift because it's traditionally, like, 10 cents on Steam.
Oh, I'm guessing Bat Rats.
You are correct.
I tried to give that to someone I knew once, and they actually turned it down, which is the only time I've ever had a Steam gift turned down.
Yep. From what I've seen of it, there's a reason for that. Let me just make sure this is sharing the stream properly. So, okay, time to play Bad Rats. The basic premise here, as I understand it, is... Yeah, sure, easy, whatever. Kind of like a, Lemmings, Lost Vikings, Krusty's Super Fun House sort of thing. Or a physics toy, was it? Where you just kind of... okay, I probably should have actually looked at that tutorial better. Oh yeah, so... This is a pretty easy mode. Can I get the... Okay. There's also a terrible interface, but... whose idea is
Sneezing.
arrange stuff like so, hit play, and fail miserably. Take two?
What's it? How's the ball supposed to ricochet up and right?
I am not sure. And I'm also going to admit defeat and go to the tutorial, because that may help a little bit.
So immediately,
Oops.
like the extremely ratatouille aesthetic, that it's like a real game. I was Oh, by the way, I lost screen share.
Yeah, I accidentally quit it. One moment. Getting that back up. It's kind of a real game.
Like I see stuff on Steam being sold for like $5. That's like labeled role playing or what have you as an excuse for not having any actual mechanics. Whereas this is at least like a thing with objectives and stuff.
And horrible racism.
Oh, it does?
As you can see in the intro here, I hope, if that's still streaming properly. Yeah. Apparently it gets worse as it goes on, too. But okay, let me... New game tutorial. At least give this something of a fair shake. But I did see someone once post
Welcome to Bad Rats. We'll give you some tips on the first map so you can start playing.
Love that
Your
text to
objective
speech.
is solve the puzzles and help the rats with their annihilation plans. On this map, for example, your goal is make the ball hit the vault. It's all about physics, logic, and creativity. Basically, there are two game modes, paused and playing. When paused, you can place objects on the map and adjust their configurations. Then, you can start the experiment when the simulation will begin. You'll control the play and pause modes using the buttons on the bottom left. Press the play button and let's see what happens when it starts.
Okay, fine. Ball drops, nothing happens.
Okay, the ball fell, bounced, but we will need more to make it hit the vault. While playing, we cannot move the objects and scene, so stop the experiment and let's use some objects to help us. The objects you have available, your inventory, is located down the screen. Move your cursor to the middle bottom and let's see what we have to use. Good. One wood board, one crate, one barrel, and a rat with a baseball bat. Fine. But how we make it? Well, let's see what is planned to this map. The plan is
How we make it
available on the
indeed.
easy mode, and this can help us a lot. Move your cursor up to the screen, and let's see the plan. So, we can build a ramp, and use the rat to attack the ball. Move your cursor up to the screen, and let's see the plan. So, we can build a ramp, and use the rat to attack the ball. Okay, let's make it.
So is that rotation
I
like
think the barrel
automatic?
is the best
That is
place to
automatic
ramp.
and unwelcome.
Then, we have to go to the inventory and bring the barrel to a good place.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm
try to move the barrel to the planned position.
I understand tutorial. I get it. I just didn't see the rat.
So the box is just to prevent backward sliding, I guess?
I guess. So
This UI that covers half the screen is something.
Okay, and tutorial's also wanting me to do the thing that I already did while I was talking. That's always a good sign.
I think it's okay. Now let's place the board and finish up our ramp.
Yeah.
When moving the board, it will try to find the best angle automatically.
Keyword try.
Move the board and release it when the ramp looks okay. Great. It seems we have the ramp we'll need. Before we continue, let's start the experiment again and see what happens.
Okay. Almost there.
So, a ramp can help us to give the objects some movement. It's the gravity working. But ramps can be used also to support objects in a certain angle. And this is our case. We have one rat to use, and the ramp will help us.
Were the
Start
developers not
experiment
native
so we
English
can use the
speakers?
rat.
I'm assuming not.
Remember, we can only move the objects when the experiment is paused. The rats have special abilities, and you'll enjoy exploring their use. The batter rat, we can figure out, it will bat what moves in front of it. And he does. But Bat
And he
hits the
does.
objects forward, according his angle. That's the why we built the ramp. So, place the
That's the
batter on
why.
the ramp, and let's see it working.
Okay, well, you put the rat down that I just put down again. Fine. Please, like, auto-detect these
Great.
things.
I think it's done.
Great.
Start the experiment again and watch.
Yeah.
At least the physics are
I think we'll
consistent.
need
I
to
was
make
half
some
expecting it
adjustments.
to be different every time you
Stop
hit
the
play.
experiment and try some new position to the batter. Its position can be essential for us. Make some adjustments and press play to try it again.
I love how right in the tutorial they're like, so basically you're going to have to micro adjust everything to get it to kind
Yep.
of work.
Yep. Plus, the
Another important
tutorial
part is the
itself is,
ramp
like,
and its
obscuring
angle.
the only
Try
part of
to
the
do
screen
some
that I care
adjustments on the
about
ramp,
completely.
moving the
Yeah,
ball
no
and setting
kidding.
the barrel.
And same the barrel.
Okay.
Stop the experiment and try some new position to the batter. The rat's position is essential for us. There are much more to learn about how
That's
to play,
lovely.
but I'll give you my last tip. Right-click the objects and scene so you can use the objects menu. Configurations as timer, rotation, and flip are available there.
That's nice.
Okay, that's all for now. Enjoy playing Bad Rats.
I will never enjoy playing Bad Rats. I will keep doing this just for due diligence's sake, though.
So that tutorial actually didn't say anything you didn't already figure out. It was just, if anything, it made it like more complicated.
Yeah, it was forcing me to do a lot of stuff that was really unnecessary. Okay. And yeah,
You know, the
right-clicking.
physics are rough when the game is built around like actually putting the solution on screen, and it's just a matter of getting you to fiddle with it until it actually works.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I suppose this flipped, and then...
All this stock music.
And just like scrolling down to the stuff is hard even.
Yeah, why doesn't he angle cameras?
Well, that worked.
What purpose does the balloon serve?
I don't know.
Can you
but-
attach the batter to the balloon?
See, that's what I was... Oh, you can, just by... I had the order wrong. Okay, so let's see how that goes. And yeah, the UI is just awful, too. I can't really convey that enough.
Oh no, tractor rat.
Well, these things happen. But yeah, this is very... low rent, let's say. I don't know, I guess that's what I want me to do here. Yeah, I want to have that there, and then that. So that auto-rotation thing that you're talking about, could you, like, do that maybe, game?
Maybe planks only.
No, I can... Oh, this is...
Oh, delightful. Why is
Okay.
it hyper precise for this thing?
Because, well, here I'm actually doing it by hand, is the thing. By right-clicking on this 2-pixel thick object, and then...
Which it helpfully resets every time it doesn't like it.
Yep. This is awful. This is just awful. And again, I'm told later on it also gets really racist. Okay, so how's that gonna look?
Oh, nice.
Okay. And I do also really love unquote a game where my objective is to kill cats. This is actually like the reason I won't touch the new Assassin's Creed games.
Oh, they involve why do you need to kill cats in Assassin's Creed?
Look, somebody took out a contract on this lion, okay? It's not my business to know what he did.
Oh, yes. I remember hearing that now.
Yeah,
I had to stop playing that one Call of Duty where you get to like the one part in the single player and you like have to do these like epic neck snap fatality and animations on these guard dogs, and it's supposed to make you feel big and strong, but it was just like
okay,
I played this game to murder a bunch of civilians in an airport, not to snap the dog's neck.
I think this right here is officially where I can stop playing this in good conscience. Where we have the rat with the turban and beard and bomb strapped to his chest cheering. Like, yeah, that'll do. Goodbye, bad rats. Yes, I really want to exit this game. I really want to exit this game.
Well, I think we got the point.
Yeah, so let's see. I suppose that would be a puzzle game, technically.
I feel bad about giving them 30 cents now.
Yeah, like a lot of people have made the same mistake. But, I do know if you actually want to see the full game of that, I don't know offhand what his full YouTube handle is, but he goes by Beat. He's a wonderful skeleton man, and he tore into this thing with an extensive look once. Worth looking up, or just, never touch the whole thing again. Moving along, we have something called Banished. It looks much less horrible. Okay, options, options. This is full screen, so this should work better.
Bad thing about Bad Rats there too, among many others, is that like the rats and the cat model looked like they were the bespoke elements of like the actual bits they made for the game rather than everything else, which was just stock assets.
Okay. This looks like it's a, city manager type thing. That's all fine, sure.
That loading screen looks like it's using a very different lighting model than the actual game. Oh, but never mind. It was just the storm.
Yep, so there was an option for tutorials that I skipped because, I've been seeing a lot of bad tutorials today. So let's see what we have here. Okay, that's all stats and such.
So worth establishing up front, are you doing this trying to succeed simulator or misery simulator?
Usually I go more for success.
I guess that's valid.
Yep. Yeah, I did recently turn Hazel onto this YouTube channel I found called Let's Game It Out, which I would best describe as like freelance bug testing for various indie games. The guy doing it just immediately finds ways to glitch through walls and just ignore fundamental basic objectives constantly. And okay, where's all the actual useful stuff here?
I find it very relatable because that's how I usually play video games on my own time. I think I got into speedrunning originally because it was like an application for that skill set than the other way around.
How do I rotate things, I wonder?
Oftentimes with cheap simulator games too, subverting the narrative is more interesting than trying to follow it sincerely.
So I still can't find basic housing for these people anywhere in here, which is kind of funny.
I dig how this game has this very naturalistic, very relaxing kind of environment rather than the hideous mobile game Warcraft 3 look every other city builder seems to go for these days.
Okay, Stone Low. Let's see. I think I have mine somewhere. This is also weirdly like, I'm used to this sort of thing, having this, like, you know, in first level tutorial sort of thing. Instead of
Yeah,
just,
they
like...
start you off in a real cramped space.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, actually, if I were to turn to main menu and actually try these tutorials, is there... Okay, yeah. Let's actually do this properly.
That's a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm. But, like, it's always weird to me when the tutorial is, like, that far down the main menu.
Mm.
Okay, so, yeah. I hate how every tutorial always starts with, you know, hey, WASD. Yeah. Screw up your view with rotation controls, yeah. Working the scroll wheel, yeah.
I notice a lot of games can't decide whether they're targeted at people who only play games or people who never play games.
Mm.
Because often games will have tutorials and hint systems which imply one, but then game systems which imply another, so you kind of get the worst of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know how I missed that, but yeah, there's housing.
And then you've got fighting games which are like, here's how to do a punch. You press this button on the controller. Okay, now do these 8 frame-specific inputs in a row for the challenge.
Yep.
You don't need anything in between.
I was traumatized by Skullgirls tutorial. Because it really is like a 30 input combo taught as like as important as just, you know, punch, kick.
I was traumatized just by looking at the creepy sex doll tutorial lady and the fact that so many women I know like the character designs in that game. I like Peacock, but kind of only her.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone likes Peacock.
Mm-hmm. Which one's that again?
The Fleischer cartoon style.
Okay, yeah, the really cartoony Funky Arms one.
Yeah. She's got like sharp teeth and she smokes a cigar.
Mm. Yeah, women smoking cigars is one of those things that's like... It's always weirdly appealing because it's so rare.
Yeah.
Like, you got that, you've got Balalaika from Black Lagoon, and that's kind of all that comes to mind. Oh, wait, also, what's her name from Hellsing does?
I can appreciate when a woman is smoking aesthetically, but it's also like kind of a turn off for me because I'm like,
Oh yeah, I don't like it in real life. Smoking is awful, but
need more women smoking weed in video games. That doesn't make your mouth taste as bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So.
Is there such thing as a weed cigar? That surely exists by now.
I think that's called the blunt.
Oh, that's what that is. Right.
I mean, I'm so not the person to be asking, but yeah.
I mean, a cigar is like way bigger, I would assume. I've never actually held one.
Okay, so I'm not super keen on the UI to this game, but it does seem like, you know, it's checking all the boxes pretty nicely. Like, it's a competently done little city builder with nice chill music. Okay, those are not these. Okay.
Simulators are always built around agrarian societies, but I've often thought that a fantasy game where you're just like out in the woods living a hunter-gatherer life would be like kind of fun and relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, like, so my, like, personal white whale of the game, is very much just, here's me, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I gotta make a big, huge pile of stuff myself, while trying not to get killed by various things. And there's so many games that come really, really close to scratching that itch, but don't quite make it. Like,
the game No Man's Sky started to be, but nobody wanted it to be.
Yeah, kind of. But like, so like Rust and Ark and all those are a good example of like, yeah, I appreciate this. Like, here I am, just naked in the wilderness, just scraping at some trees and rocks with my fingernails to get some basic tools going. But like, okay, first of all, those are really intended to be PvP only, which I don't really care for, especially when there's no actual reward for murdering everybody else, really. It's just kind of encouraging griefing. But then also the tech tree is just ridiculous. It's like, okay, get a crude wooden axe. Cool. Now get, like, a stone one. Now get a metal one. Now get an AK-47. Like, I feel like we skipped a few things here.
I seem to be the only person that likes Minecraft in like the more survival side of things, where you're not making like giant factories or what have you. Where I found it very satisfying for that regard. I could just like build little huts and like have a nice little garden with a glass ceiling.
Well, this is another thing with Minecraft debugs. Minecraft's going to be an example because like Minecraft is close to doing it, but like the actual survival aspects of Minecraft are garbage. It's like everything is super, super deadly, and then I get some torches set up and like a basic perimeter of either more torches or a wall, and now I will never see another monster again.
Yes, I wish there was a little more of a curve to it. It'd be cool if there were more like raider type monsters, like, oh, night is coming, this is just, I'm scared they're gonna like kick down my door kind of thing.
They actually did add that recently.
Oh yeah?
One of the more recent patches, there are these like bandits, which are just like evil villagers with crossbows.
Oh. Who
have their own little bases and then like send out raiding parties once in a while. But it's such a rare thing to see them. And there's also these like zombie plague nights where they'll just like spawn in a ton of them and ignore some of their usual rules.
Oh.
But it's still not quite there yet for me.
I could see them going the other direction too, like have the surface world be basically peaceful, but then make it so that like, the deeper you delve, the more dangerous things get.
I mean, that kind of happens, but like, again, the rules for monster spawning just don't work for me.
Yeah, it's based on like light levels, isn't it?
It's entirely based on light levels, and it's also entirely based on like it will try to put monsters in at a steady rate. The space it will put them in is depending on where there is space that it can put them in.
Oh yeah, I've seen people like develop like monster grinders for
Yeah.
XP and stuff.
So,
by,
like-
putting one really shadowy area, even though they couldn't possibly like get to that shadowy area from anywhere else.
Yeah,
And then just, you know, creepers will just appear there.
but like enough to lower your frame rate will appear there because they have nowhere else to pop in, and they just try to like
Right.
put all the spawns at the same rate they would for spreading over the entire world in this one area. And you can do that intentionally and kind of like have to if you really want like Enderman pearls, which you need to win the game. But like if you're not doing it intentionally, you can accidentally just like open up a cave, which is like where all the monsters have been going because there's nowhere else to put them, and suddenly it's just like this fire hose, and I just do not like it. Okay, so
That's a tricky problem too, because Minecraft's a kind of game that's so popular and has so much content for it already that even when they make like the most minor mechanical tweaks, it breaks a lot of stuff because every bug is like a feature by this point. So
yep.
how do you drastically rebalance the survival aspects without like upsetting people?
Yep. So yeah, I think I kind of get the idea with this here that I'm playing. Banished it was called, which is a weird name for what it is, because you're clearly just building a city. And these don't exactly seem like, you know, desperate outlaws on the run from the government here.
It doesn't seem, maybe a whole village got exiled from a larger kingdom. Seems like they were able to bring all their tools with them at least.
Yep. Well, that's actually good to know. I do appreciate being able to move windows around in this sort of game. And I do appreciate the tutorial saying, so just like speed up time while we do this, honestly. I don't like that you have to have the speed window open to up the speed, even if you're using hotkeys for it. But yeah, I think
unusual.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna finish this tutorial because like that's just it'd be rude not to. Yeah, make roads, people move faster. That's kind of a standard thing. Oh, you want me to just okay? Picky tutorial. Yeah, got a nice little overview. That's pretty simple. I don't like this tiny text UI for this though. Like, look at this little tooltip for population, and it's like, are those people? Because that's like 5 pixels. Like, what are any of these things? You can make this bigger. If I'm looking at my overview, I don't mind having it be full screen. But again, this seems, you know, it's one of these. It doesn't have anything hugely objectable or really standing out about it, honestly. But yeah, back to what I was saying about this sort of game and like what I really want out of it. The best I have seen is Subnautica. Subnautica is really great because, like, as a survival thing, it has a really good curve of like feeling like you're just desperately running around to just make sure you don't starve or die of thirst early on. And then getting that managed to the point where you just have to make the occasional food run. And then getting to the point where you literally don't ever have to leave your base again and it can just, like, automate that. And then on top of that, it's also, like, this big exploratory adventure horror game thing with an actual, like, plot and an ending. Which is something I do kind of like out of most games, a long-term goal. Whereas this is kind of just like, I assume anyway, this is kind of just keep growing for growing's sake, eternally. You know? This is really, like, encouraging me to cram everything into this tiny little space here. That's really weird.
It seems closer than these buildings would be built.
Like, I can't even see where it told me to put that road earlier. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm building something here and here and here. This is, like, gonna have just maximum cramming going on.
Oh, you can rotate.
Yeah. Rotate and pitch it up and down. It's just I haven't been because I tend to always play these games from a fixed angle. And, like, I'd appreciate a little bit more contrast, too. Like, this guy's kind of blending into the background a lot. This guy really will. I do like that there's some
uncartoony it is, but at the same time, this almost looks lower contrast than real life is.
And I also don't like how much this tutorial is saying, just speed it up for a while.
Oh, a deer. Just going through your village.
Yep.
Hey, sup.
Yep.
Sup, just gonna walk through.
There's another one. Just taking the road, no less. So, yeah. Oh, okay, and this is the end of the tutorial, too. So, yeah, that's, I think, a good taste of this. If I am ever really desperate for some buildy, simmy thing, this is an option.
Seems like the kind of thing you need to be in a specific mood for.
Well, again, though, this is also such a crowded genre. Like, there's so many games that are exactly this, you know? And it's like, these days, you have to realize, too, you're competing against Cities Skylines for if I want to do this sort of thing. Like, that is such a chill, well-done SimCity clone. Oh, that's good to know. That's an option.
I wonder why sim games are so popular among developers. You'd think they'd take like
So that was banished, by the way.
resources to make all the content for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is surprisingly popular. Now you mention it. And again, it's like it's a genre where people really never try to innovate. Like
Yeah.
the last time I can think of that somebody's tried to do something really new with this is, well, okay, they're Surviving Mars, which is actually hostile enough that it feels like an RTS with no opponent.
Oh, interesting.
Like you're just constantly having to worry about 20 different logistical problems at once that will like shut your whole planet down, basically. So that's actually a really cool one that I'm looking forward to getting into at some point in the future. But before that, like the most innovative city builder I can think of is Afterlife in like 1990, what, 6?
Oh, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
And even that one quickly devolved into a mess where you couldn't tell what anything was.
Yep. I like it, mind you, but yeah.
That illustrates another problem with the genre too, where there's so much relying on you already being familiar with the metaphors for what the buildings are doing that the game doesn't really need to convey what anything is doing.
Yep.
And in Afterlife, everything was like basically arbitrary.
Yep.
So it just looked like a weird casino town every time.
Well, that and the buildings are all like 6 times as tall as they are wide, so you have to turn them off to actually functionally play it.
Mm-mm.
And then you just have colored squares in the floor. But it was very charming. It was very funny. The whole concept of, you know, heaven is you're playing SimCity, hell is you're playing SimCity wrong, and
Yes.
they kind of can influence each other by just like projecting effectively crime into the other city. That was
Yeah,
cool.
that's a good point. I'm
Um,
surprised I haven't. There's opportunity for so many genres where the game is built around you deliberately playing the more tropey version of it wrong.
Mhm.
I think of like how Saints Row is like leaning into the parts of all the. I mean, I guess Grand Theft Auto played air quotes wrong is also intended, but
Mhm.
like Saints Row is more doing it on purpose.
Mhm. So anyway, next on the list here is one that I've heard a lot of really good things about, actually. The Banner Saga. I don't remember exactly what those good things are. I don't know why there's a 3 there. But, or a... Okay. Weird. But yeah, let's just get into this. I remember there was a lot of hype about it before it came out, but I can't remember what any of it actually was. It was like, and was it an indie darling? Was it by somebody who did something else that was really cool? Was it reviving a genre that had been like laying fallow way too long? Stop me if you know, because
Yeah, I can't say I remember either. I have sort of a similar vague memory.
but I have heard it's very good. That's like pretty consistent, and the art is very nice.
Að sjá dreggjana á ferli neðanvor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital.
Also, I stand corrected. There are a couple more.
Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky.
A couple other good city builders out there that innovate. There's Frostpunk, which is interesting just because it's like
Son of a
what
man
horrible
named
human
Carl
rights are you going to violate to make sure everybody doesn't die?
Right.
I am not quick to superstition.
And
but I am
you know, there's
unsure
Kingdom, which
it will
is
be
really
glad
amazing. If you haven't seen it, I'll have to
this
skip ahead and put that in
year's
here. It's
We have
like
been
2D
warned
side-scroller
by
city builder.
stranded travelers about the brigands.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, look, I'll just put that on next after this then.
Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to return here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
It's a little bit of a long intro, and oh hey, we got horns. I actually appreciate that sudden reveal of, oh no, this is Big Fantasy Land, not just historical fiction after that long zoomed out segment. It's impressive somebody sprang for like an actual 2D animated intro too. Like, it's weird. Like 3D animation for a long time was like considered more expensive, but today that's the cheap way to do things.
Yes.
Especially for making a game
I know,
anyway.
Yeah, 3D trying very hard to look 2D.
Hmm.
Did you
Yeah,
ever
that
read
too.
that comic Freefall? I think at the time how it had that like section where they were going to watch a CG movie and it was replicating like an old cheaply made kaiju film or something, and they were commenting like, "Oh wow, it's so impressive! You can really, it's like you can really see the wires holding stuff up." And we actually have stuff like that now, so that's funny to me.
Ooh, I like this foreground element here. But yeah, it's a small enough map that's weird enough to get that tutorial for. Okay,
One
so
problem I have with a lot of those Civ builders, I mean, it makes sense in Frostpunk where the mechanics are what human rights are we going to violate to survive, but then there are like a lot of more realistic settings ones that frame those things as being, you know, necessary, tough decisions for society to go on, which I find quite apologetic in a way of the status quo in a way I don't appreciate.
that's interesting.
I've only ever seen depictions of this game from like the roaming side-scrolly bits, so I didn't even know these sections existed.
Yeah. And this is very high information, which I appreciate. Okay, so we got that sort of initiative going.
And a lot of these games have a kind of kill randos to increase your popularity with the general public going on. Huh, yeah, I had no idea this was like a tactics RPG.
Where is that actually listed? Oh, there it is. Okay. Basically double click to confirm everything. Gotcha. Weird.
Dumping a whole lot of mechanics on you.
Yeah. Which I can appreciate. Okay, just the one. You got these nice high-res sprites in combat too, which is... I can see the appeal of this.
Like a rabbit.
But there's also like a non
Did it come to
strategy
this?
game version of it
We
too,
fool
like
ourselves
mode 2,
believing
isn't there?
that peace will last. My grandfather
think.
built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and Var slaughter each other, even before the threats arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more threats to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first.
The art,
A
too,
dozen
is, like-
families in the city would gladly take
It's very
my
Venture
chair.
Brothers.
This one had men waging
That's a good
merchants
point.
both north and south of the city, strangling trade quite well, I would add. Though he denied
Like,
it to his
extremely
last.
so. I wonder
This
if there's any sort of, like,
doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off.
direct
It just
influence there.
grows a new head. I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal. I promise you that. They will meet
you
you down
marry
in
me?
the proving grounds.
Say again? I was
My
listening
cat's just
to
making a lot of noise in the
loud.
background, and I'm just...
Oh,
I just fed him, I gave him water, I gave him I played with him a little bit today. He's just like... Stop paying so much attention to the computer. Okay. So this is doing the whole, like, talking cardboard cutouts thing. But, like, at least it's really dynamic with this camera 1, camera 2 thing.
nothing turns me off a game faster than when it does the horrible, like, visual novel thing where they've got them both, like, in the 2D side portrait.
Yeah.
And it's always, like, the same copy-paste anime girl talking to herself.
Yep. I mean, this is doing similar, but, like, at least they were dynamic with the layouts. Like this. Like, just having somebody in the foreground here makes it seem so much less cheap.
Mm-hmm. Makes the background seem more real, too. Like you're actually in it.
Mm-hmm.
This game's reminding me of Pyre, which I bet you'd also enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Like, that is so Venture Brothers looking, like... just the weird attention to the brow and shape of people's heads. It's
Flat shading,
the flat,
too.
yeah. Like, it's striking, the resemblance.
I find the design of Viking guy, but with horns, a little corny.
Mm-hmm.
At least make them full-on goat man.
Mm-hmm. One second, I remember something I forgot to plug this too. It is a little weird. Flirt with bodyguard. And there's a lot of like world building going on in the background that I'm kind of tuning out on, not because I don't care, just because like I'm doing the cool, quick overview thing. Like I don't want to get super invested plot-wise right now.
Yeah, this seems like it might be suited for like a stream devoted to just this game or something.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let me just like, can I get out of the long conversation and see what else this game has to offer? Thank you. So I have mixed feelings about this as a UI. It's very pretty, but it's also very unclear what's what.
Is that like a...
Also,
oh no, that's your mouse over thing. It looks like there was a neon sign saying "Need House."
Okay, so here's the thing. There's mouse over right there, but that is a neon sign.
Oh!
Like, I mean, it glows more when I hover over it, but even when I'm not, that's like... Need house.
There's room for more fantasy games where there's the occasional bit of ancient tech from the old world, and it's always done as like, you know, stones with glowing bits at right angles and things like that. But what if it was just like neon signs and like the occasional gun or things like that?
So yeah.
Although you'd actually need more neon to power a neon sign, wouldn't you? That'd be a bit troublesome. And electricity.
Okay, so now we're going back to another fight. Again, just like the details of the characters here and the art style and keeping this really consistent visual look no matter what mode of the game you're in, I'm here for it. But today, I'm here for doing a lot of other stuff. That is neat, though. Like, we'll play again. I'm a big fan of that genre in general, and I appreciate that there's more than just walk up and attack, too, going on mechanically. So yeah, Banner Saga. Thumbs up.
Neat.
So, moving along, we have... Bonsai Pelican? The last hope for the young century? That is a terrible contrast in this little Steam banner here. Like, the last word of it is white text on a white background.
Oh.
Okay, yes, full screen. Let me share that with you. Let me make double sure that this is... Are we, Okay, I may have chosen poorly when I said go full screen.
Neither seeing it in screen share nor the stream right now.
So let me try that again and not go full screen with it, because some games, it turns out, don't play well with tabbing out of them. Okay, so now I can share that with you.
The Windows taskbar should have like a little outline on the icon, depending on whether it's like full screen borderless or full screen actual.
Okay,
this looks like a game.
So is this coming through on the stream is the question.
I don't see it on the stream yet, but I'm a bit behind. Oh, yep, it's on the stream.
Okay. Yeah, so, ooh. I got a lot of red flags already here.
Yeah.
I actually missed most of that intro because I was tabbed away, but,
Oh, Bonsai Pecan. I thought you
Oh.
said Pelican.
I thought it was Pelican.
I want to play Bonsai Pelican now.
Yeah. Oh,
I
got another intro.
did guess Anime Girls just from the title.
Yep. So let's take this in and, I have a special hate for, like, trying to do an anime style badly.
It reminds me of when everything had to have an ironic rap in it, and everyone would like rap and start with like, and
Like-
I'm here to say.
Yeah. It's like, I would never say, you know, like, if you're an American, you should not be drawing in some kind of anime style. Because, whatever, you draw in the style you want. But, like, when you're trying to emulate another style intentionally, you really need to, like, be a good enough artist who has studied that style enough to really pull it off. And
I feel mean in case this is some like indie artist, but I am getting a very how to draw anime book at the library vibe from this.
Yeah, and also, what are the controls? Like, enter is yes,
Blonde.
but okay, WASD to navigate the menus is a little weird.
Just hire more furry artists to do your games. They're like such good artists.
That's
and they're,
actually-
like, they undercharge.
That's actually super valid. Okay. Okay, that's better. I'm just gonna get into it, and we'll see how bad it is.
The running joke is that furry artists draw that way because they can't draw humans, but then when I see them draw humans, they tend to be like better than
Yeah.
other artists do.
Okay. I'm getting a mild headache at bunnies have normal behavior.
Well, oh, that's what that mode entails. It's only in the yellow zone that I guess bunnies are abnormal in the green zone. Oh, Jenny's fire bunnies. Full heat. What does any of this mean?
I mean, this is clearly a difficulty select. But,
Let's get aggressive and grab more.
they sure
I
do.
assume that's a bad thing.
I guess we'll go on normal. But, this is...
Flan nougat to
Like, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying this artist is bad. I am saying I think that this artist can do better than this, but is trying to emulate a style that they're not really skilled in.
It's kind of like a miscast actor.
Yeah, like this doesn't have, you know, really terrible anatomy or a bad grip on shading. It's just like you're clearly trying to do a low detail thing and picking the wrong details.
These poses look unnatural in how tropey they're trying to be.
That
me
too. It's like, and it doesn't even look like, you know, trying to draw anime style from memory. It's trying to draw, quote, anime style by looking at some, quote, anime style webcomic and copying that as well as you can. Like,
That's some meta humor.
like there's a copy of a copy of a copy quality here.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna read any of this plot. My eyes are just bouncing off of it, and I'm going to just... Please, can we just start the game?
Hoes are getting aggressive these days.
Okay, I'm just... No.
Back in the day, hoes were peaceful. We once were at peace with
Yeah.
the land of the hoes.
I'm sorry if anyone wants to read this, I just don't. Like... And we've got bad out-of-place humor.
Hero reference.
Of course. Of course.
This is like the quality of dialogue I remember having like with my friends doing like pseudo anime role plays when I was like 14.
Yeah.
Here's not even done a job.
Oh dear.
Run!
What the hell buttons are these? Oh, thanks for taking them away.
Oh, you figured out the Streets of Rage combo.
What, this?
The just punch over and over link.
So there's one attack button. That's all one button.
So is it that if you delay the attack each time and link back into the regular... What?
Okay, so on an Xbox controller, A is beat somebody up. X is dodge around. Oh, Y is just throw fireball.
That is very...
And A is awful jump. Really awful jump. So there's no, like, fighting game controls here, despite the fact that it looks like a fighting game. There's just kind of...
Do the rapid justice.
Well, like, what are these controls even? Oh, it must just really, really mash that, okay. Okay, so, this is a piece of garbage. Like,
Durian is an acquired taste.
I mean, this looks like I'm really good at the game. This is just me repeatedly hitting A. And it just, you know, auto combos. It's 5 billion attacks. And then this is making me push it at, like, uncomfortably fast speeds. And then... Okay, I'm going to hit the emergency exit button right here in the corner. And I am never touching it again. That is awful.
I hate to break it to anyone in the audience, but like fans of like the girls in like Street Fighter and Guilty Gear and stuff, this is exactly what your everything looks like to anyone already not like in the fandom. To a layperson, that probably looks exactly like that looked. Like I see her doing a jump with like the big leg split in the air. And then to me, that just that doesn't look that different from like Cammy's animations, really.
Yep.
It's worse animated, but like from a design perspective, it's no different.
Yep. So uninstalling that was just no, thank you.
When I saw the fighting mechanics, I was at first like, oh, would I would spend like 20 minutes of this developing like a funny broken combo? But it didn't look worth it, even ironically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
that was Banzai Pecan.
Yes, and I am never touching it again. That was just disgustingly bad on every level. Like, it wasn't fun to play, it wasn't fun to look at, it wasn't fun to read the text. I just wanted it out immediately.
The one anime thing they were missing is they needed the characters never shutting up. Like, they needed to be saying, like, a full sentence every time they did a jab.
So now we have the Bard's Tale. This has been around. I believe it's an RPG. I believe it's like an old school PC RPG. Or a remake thereof. 'Cause I think like the original The Bard's Tale was like, you know, like 85 or something. Just, well, no, it's not. Okay, it was newer than Ultimate, but it was like, you know, one of the like old DOS PC RPGs. And I just have a black screen. I don't know about you.
I see the title screen.
Huh.
Oh, now it's black.
Okay, here we go.
Now I see stars.
I'm like just getting the intro, so like somehow you're in the future.
I just got the aim file
Okay.
logo.
Yep, I got that too.
Tommy Tellerico Studios.
That's nice.
So this is a remake, you say? Because I'm already getting a very My First Game Project vibe.
Yeah, like the original The Bard's Tale was like one of the oldest PC RPGs. This remake is from, I think it said 2004 on the house screen.
Oh, huh.
And apparently there is a link to, yeah, the old games. Which, wait, is the link to them or is it? Oh no, they're actually here.
Huh.
Okay. So I accidentally opened that up, but yeah, okay, this is good for my example. And this actually kind of is more appealing to me too visually. Oh, I was right, 1985. Cool. So let me look at this for like half a second, then go back to the remake. This is just charming. Like, we were talking earlier about the whole 1993 Space Marine, and what a good job that does of capturing a like very overlooked period of gaming history. This is another one that like I would not mind seeing people revisit. Maybe not the music. The music is a bit hard on the ears.
This takes me back to playing like Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego.
But yeah, this like super low resolution yet full screen animation sort of thing you got with a lot of old DOS games is like it's oddly compelling in a weird way even to this day. And I'm not gonna sit through this whole. Okay, that's nice. Can I like do a thing? Thank you. So then with the old game here,
You can transfer characters from like Ultima 3? Wow.
Okay, I know there's games where you can transfer in your characters, but it's usually like within that series.
Wouldn't that be delightful if more publishers did that? Like import your character from X completely different game.
That's amazing. And I'm pretty sure none of those are the same developer either, so it's just like reading the different character file formats and converting them because they're all basically D&D.
That would be lovely if like newer Fallout games let you import your characters from old Fallout games and stuff like that.
That's
Though,
kind of rad.
Maybe the reason that modern games don't do that is because it would draw attention to just how much they cut out.
But yeah, I don't
Let me
actually
give
want
Adam
to.
Jensen a high swimming stat.
Yep. But anyway, I wasn't actually planning to start playing like old school Bard's Tale. I was going to play the actual relatively new one.
It's weird. This actually looks cheaper to me.
It does.
You'd like to hear
Looper's
a new
videos.
story? Oh, very well. Where shall we begin?
With me customizing this character visually? Okay, so playing a bard, right? Done.
Shopkeepers will offer significant discounts to the bard if he has high charisma.
Cool. Okay, I should have actually looked at what the stats are.
Rhythm.
Rhythm allows the bard to play magical tunes with greater skill, enhancing the statistics of summoned creatures.
Oh, so charisma is barter
A high
and rhythm is
dexterity
charisma.
allows the bard to inflict greater damage with ranged weapons. Luck has a subtle effect on many aspects of the bard's adventures.
I hate when people say that. Like, no, what does
Say
it
what?
actually do?
Oh, right. Yeah, luck. I don't think I've ever played an RPG where luck wasn't like the worst stat.
Or, like, coherently explained at all. Like, is it a critical hit chance stat? Is it a plot thing? Is it some weird subtle
A high
modifier on
vitality
hit
will
rolls?
increase the bard's health, making him more difficult to defeat in battle.
Oh, maybe next
The
time we're
stronger the
like
bard
doing a
is,
long
the more
command
damage he can
run
inflict
in
with
Risk of
melee
Rain, we should
weapons.
see what the effect of like stacking a whole bunch of clovers is like.
Rhythm allows the bard to play magical tunes.
Okay,
with
I only
greater
wanted to hear it
skill,
once.
enhancing
Don't-
the
don't
statistics
keep
of
reading that,
summoned
please.
creatures. Shopkeepers will offer significant discounts to the bard.
Okay,
if
so
he
12
has high
charisma, 12
charisma.
rhythm. I'm good.
Allows the bard to equip and use two-handed weapons. The bard gains bonus coins for any treasure he finds.
I mean, sure. The rest of those are pretty self-explanatory.
Doing this pacifisty.
It had come to this.
I mean,
at
old
last.
PC RPG, so yeah.
One man, a poet and a rogue, with no friends to speak of,
Oof.
no one
Oh,
to
he's dual
mourn
class.
his passing, should it come to that. Even those
Oof.
beside him are no more boon companions than bond servants, summoned by sorcery.
I'm
and
starting to
song.
think I would have been better
As
off playing the
cold
old
and
DOS
indifferent
game.
To him was the light of a wandering star.
This intro hurts.
So the ladies have ever so slightly more skin showing.
Uh-huh.
Even the fully armored one.
Mm-hmm. This is a bad era in pre-render graphics.
You've made a mistake
Like-
in coming here.
But to know where he is, we need to know where he is from. And to know that, we've got to begin elsewhere. And
The
not that
graphics
long
are really
ago,
bad, but the pacing's not terrible.
a simple man he was, with a quick wit.
It's hard to
and a
say what's bad about the
sharp tongue,
graphics too. It's
eye
like
for the lasses, and a talent for keeping one
I've
step ahead
played
of the law.
games where they're
Come to
like
Houghton to
objectively
and make his way.
like
He
less
found himself
sophisticated.
Standing outside the Drunken Rat, a public house owned by the widow.
Like the
Mary
original
McNair.
StarCraft, where they
The
don't
bard
really know how to do
played
hair
his
at all.
instrument and prepared to
But,
ply
like,
his trade.
With that, it feels like they're leaning into the strengths and weaknesses they do have.
You know, now that I think of a lot of the character portraits, there's a conspicuous lack of hair now you mention it.
Oh, in StarCraft?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kerrigan's the only one with like visible hair, and she has like tentacle hair.
Well, like pre-infection Kerrigan had just like
A rat! A rat! You
red
drunken rats.
dreadlocks.
Get off your backsides and kill it!
Right, before she was white.
Damsel.
Oh, that's some voice acting.
To be saving me from that wee beastie.
Okay, there's a lot to take in here.
Over the rumbling of my empty belly. You aren't hurt.
His voice is
No,
awful.
but aren't you the sweet one
Her
for
boobs are
asking?
way too distracting.
I've an idea.
And she's like wearing rags that are falling apart.
I'd give
And
you
then we have
a
playing a
little
lute at
warm place to lay
at a
your
rat
head
that made it
I'd
just
be
shrink
only
away to
too
nothing.
happy to
But-
handle
oh,
anything
ugh.
to heave my way.
Then it's a deal. For it's
Oh.
a wee rat problem I've got in my cellars, and if you could do away with them, I'd be ever so thankful.
Rats, you say? In the cellar? How
Plus-
cliche of you, love. I'll
Yeah.
give you this one.
Like,
Even back
You need
then.
a bigger sword than what you've got. In case you
when
run
did that
into
even
trouble.
start?
Oh, no. My sword is quite big enough to handle.
When
any
did go into the
trouble
basement and kill 12
you might
rats
have.
start?
I don't believe that this like tavern wench working in this place with a dirt floor would see a rat and be like, ah, a rat.
So, okay, I'm already really put off here. There's also more action controls than I was expecting. Left click punches and right click moves, and escape is this menu. Do I have like press F to listen to the drunks? Okay.
Pay your respects.
I'm out. I actually am kind of charmed by this, but like,
I kind of think booze predates tea.
I actually like do appreciate a good sea shanty.
Yes.
But I don't want to play some weird musical action RPG with just like leading off with the grossest sexism.
The drunken rat, the aching drum, the trolley's pub as well.
I'm listening to this whole song though. This is fine.
It's Charlie's beer they sell.
So all you lads and lasses at 11 o'clock you stop for 5 sorts.
Also, just look at their faces.
Remember Charlie Moss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, must have been a little assault.
They have actually impressive coordination for
Yeah.
a bar crowd.
Hmm.
He's just like, yeah, I'm into this. Wow, lots of verses.
Yeah, like
Kind of lubrication to make your engines tick.
50 pains a wallop, but they will keep away the quacks.
so. I also have never played this before, but I do have the soundtrack because bundles do that. And I have like had something of a preview of just how often you just like talk to a random NPC and get this big long song. And that's all well and good, but there's a game attached here that seems really unappealing. It's gonna be stuck in my head later tonight, I know it.
The bard's so into it.
Oh, I mean, he's a bard.
That's true.
Like, learning songs from the locals is a perfectly sensible thing to have going on. And now we're all just standing here awkwardly at each other. So what, like, interface? And I hear, like, the ghosts of them singing.
Touch.
So, like, I got a little talk icon, but, like, nothing's happening?
Yeah.
Is there some controls that I'm missing? There are. Okay. Oh, I can use a gamepad. That's always nice. But like, yeah, what controls? Game, like, explain. Okay.
Maybe you have to hit F again, or that will restart the song. It's going to be a gamble.
Oh, I already took that gamble. It didn't work.
Who calls WASD the function keys?
I don't know. Oh.
Oh, there's multiple versions of each one. That's
So this
weird.
is like designed for a controller then.
Oh yeah, it's like a whole radial menu.
Weird. Well, I mean, when in Rome, was there, like, why is this off by default if... Okay. Okay.
I remember hearing a beer commercial that had, like, I think Don Cherry was in it or something, and it had an incredibly similar melody to, like, the shanty they were singing as that. So I wonder if that's, like, based on a real shanty from English history or whatever.
Okay, so now that I've got this on controller controls...
What was the little pose you did?
that one? I think that's dodging or blocking.
Ah.
Or just doing my, daily squats.
Go give the pub crawlers a hug.
Ooh, there we go. Hey, check this out, guys. Okay, I can go to the camera. That's cool. And I can bring up some things. But like, okay, I guess I don't have like a status screen. So this is not. Okay, that was on the right stick. That's weird. Oh, okay. Click the left stick to get your status. That's a thing. Ooh,
Did you learn the? Oh, I thought you learned the shanty.
A common rat. I am referring, of course, to the animal and not the bard.
So, did you learn a rat tune?
I think I can summon that rat that I unsummoned in the intro.
So you're. It's not that you destroyed the rat; it's that you captured it in a Pokeball.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. So. Random drunk guys, you're
capture
awesome.
all the rats in the cellar and give them a new home.
Hey, I understand your
Okay.
hesitation, stranger. There isn't enough air in this town to get me to go down there. Then again, I'm a coward, so...
Took a while.
If the conversation was done by the time you got there.
Yep. Oh.
Oh no!
I didn't mean to. Can I?
Oh no, tell me it's skippable.
Of course it's not skippable. Okay, there it is. Okay. I had to hit the right stick to do that, but yeah. It was a good song. I don't want to hear it twice.
That rat is not gonna kill itself. Get down there and earn a meal for once.
There's a specific rat, and this guy knows about it.
Oh, she's got a name. That's not a good sign.
Says he's not afraid of rats. You sure are procrastinating. If you are afraid, you can tell me. I won't have any interest in speaking with you any further, but you can tell me. I am a female NPC who has a short skirt. Ooh.
That was like the same voice. That's very impressive. Like, it took me a second for us to see I wasn't still talking. That was very spot on. It's nice.
Found the environment log.
Yep. This is a pretty extensive basement for such a small tavern.
Yeah, they should put the tavern in here. They could call it rustic. Get all those proto hipsters.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'd definitely go to a tavern with like roots coming out of the walls. That sounds lovely.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world.
Quest complete.
Why are the
Rat killer and rodent bane, who is brave
So-
to make the cellars once again safe for buxom barmaids and wanton widows. Or has he?
Oh, that's the rat they were talking about. Oh,
Okay, so I'm simultaneously like really put off and very
Bard,
charmed by
finding
like
himself
everything in
leaping
this game.
flame, dashed up the stairs
it's hard to
towards
know
the
which
safety of
parts
the
are
tavern.
ironic.
Yeah.
And then the parts that are ironic are kind of bad.
Yep. Like that was actually decent comedic timing there, with the big quest complete thing and everything. Also, holy cow, I'm like still on fire.
Well, the way to put out a fire is to run around. Just go talk to her while you're on fire! Oh, is the object to come back up before you're dead?
That's my understanding.
What a cruel tavern. They see a man who's literally on fire and they all laugh at him.
Or is that well done?
Not well done.
That was
More
quite the
like
burn.
medium rare.
So okay, like I'm not gonna uninstall this one right away.
Now have
This
another go at
this
him,
is weird
boss.
enough that I
You better hope
am
I've cooled off when I return, or you're next.
willing to give it another shot sometime.
The problem was your sword was slightly too small. That's why you
Okay.
got set on fire.
Right. So let me equip bigger sword.
Like,
Oh,
can't you just
okay.
capture the big rat in your cyber loot?
So this is like this is not an RPG in the traditional sense, as I was expecting. The original Bard's Tale definitely is. It's like, you know, one of those like gold box era things.
Mm.
This is like very this is very Fable in approach and
Who the
controls.
hell are you? How'd you get down here?
Like
Look here, laddie, don't be concerning yourself with such things right now.
I got a new sword. I didn't have to equip it. That's weird to me.
Any brute can swing a sword. If you really want to slay that hairy beastie,
Try playing this tune on that lute of yours.
Go on, clear off out of it. I've no use for you.
I'm not offering to go with you, laddie. I'm offering you a bit of song and magic that'll bring you back in one piece.
Great. So now the rat gets dinner and a show. It's so bloody
Like,
powerful.
didn't you just
get
walk
yourself
in
and
here
save
to
me
use
the
a
trouble.
magic spell to get rid of a rat yourself?
Well,
Like,
I'm not a man
Yeah,
of
that's
action,
like
like
it
you
could
say.
not have been more specifically
So do
suited to
yourself
the
a favour and
situation,
take a
and
little
yet he's
charity when it's
skeptical.
offered, my boy.
Done. Show me what you got.
Thunder Spider!
Before you head down there and face that huge rat, I'd like to be sure that you know your business. Would you like me to teach you a few wee things that'll help you get the best of any foes you might encounter?
I would, because these controls are
I'll
bizarre.
regret this. But I'll humour you, old man.
Good job, lad. You
Why is the
already know how
protagonist
to
such a
attack.
dick to everyone?
Let's talk about defending yourself. Press the defend button.
What are you on about? You're completely insane, aren't you? You know, I ran into this other guy once. He kept talking about mice I couldn't see. Now I'm blocking pretend blows. I hope you appreciate what I'm going through here and reward me sufficiently.
That was great, boyo.
Yeah, like, this is such an unlikable protagonist in so many ways.
You'll have to time your defense. The enemy's attack.
Of course I have to time it. How else am I going to block anything?
Now, laddie, let's teach you how to play that lute of yours and make some magic.
What? Does my name not mean anything to you? The Bard? Did you not see me summon that rat a few moments ago?
Press the summon menu button.
Wait, you summoned that? I thought you unsummoned that.
I'm saying, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, these button names
You'll
don't
see
map to
several
anything.
choices. These are the different types of beasties you'll eventually be able to summon. For now, let's summon that spider I taught you about.
I thought Thunder Spider was the name of like a metal song you learned.
I kind of hoped it was.
I could see Battle Beast releasing a single named Thunder Spider.
I'm like, the controls are on the screen, but I still can't work out what they are.
These are always made more complicated by the fact that no controller ever numbers the buttons in like a sensible way. Like on my hitbox, it's like 1, 2, 4, 7, etc.
And those don't
I know.
correspond to
This
the
part is
default layout here
important,
either.
so listen up, laddie. The creatures that you summon aren't under your complete control.
Like, I'm using a
But they
standard
will try to
360
do what you
gamepad.
wish to the best of their
You got 4 buttons here, you put them in a circle,
Try to give them
and
all.
it's like
Using
nothing
command.
makes sense compared to what's actually on
For
here.
example, press the aggressive button to make your little friend there become more aggressive.
The aggressive
Like-
button.
George!
Ah, you're getting the hang of things now, aren't you, lad?
Okay.
You can experiment with different uses of the command buttons to develop your own strategies. Now, at times, you may want to get rid of a creature you've summoned. Simply go back into the same menu you've summoned him from and select him again. That's the way to get rid of an unwanted creature.
I don't much care for how it's like, okay, boss battle, learn it with hard knocks, and then, okay, stop everything.
So now all I have to
Long
do is hit
tutorial
631 on these arbitrary names for these buttons that make no sense, which in practice is, okay, I got this. Right bumper, X, A.
Oh, you did do an unsummon before.
Great.
Yeah,
Does that trick
So,
work on you
so
as
did
well?
he
Good
put
luck
the rat
against
that
the
was
rat
upstairs there?
I guess. I must have missed it when I was being too distracted by the bad hair. Okay, so
In
now...
the future, I'm going to have to learn how to dodge these mysterious old man types.
So now with these like weird random controls from hell, I guess I just go down here and summon a lightning spider to fight my battles for me.
Is that like health and mana in the corner? And is it just stylization that one is like bigger than the other?
Yes. Okay, so
George! Attack!
Well, that didn't work. Or did it?
I mean it's a cutscene, I think. So it did.
You're just gonna have to run. Oh no, the fire went out on its own this time.
And Rodent Bane, who's bravely made the
How about
cellars...
you tell the story and leave the sarcastic patronizing to me, okay?
Can we not break the fourth wall?
It's getting a little bit too self-aware, such that it's making it less funny rather than more.
Yep. So can I like loot the corpse and get this giant rat's money? No? That just kind of keeps going back there, huh? Okay,
Oh yeah,
so,
that's a very long rat.
so now it's time to go upstairs and I guess convince everyone without any proof of any kind that I have actually killed the thing. And, you know,
Run away again, did ya? Go back to where you came from and leave the fighting to those who've got the guts for it.
I mean,
Okay.
those are pretty straightforward
Or do you
options.
want,
I definitely want term, but let's see if I can get the right button.
Oh no, the rat is the gutless one. For I spilt his about your cellar. I'd be only too happy to.
I
order
do
up
actually
anything
fully
you see.
approve of that as dialogue
fact,
choice.
It might actually improve the
visualizer.
ambiance of this place.
No need.
I actually prefer that to like what Mass Effect does, is kind of like
Well,
sort of trying to preview the dialogue.
to you that makes the eye.
Because like here at least I know what the tone's gonna be and that's what I actually care about.
yes, very true.
Whereas Mass Effect is like reject him as the choice, and then you know select it and you go, I could never love a dying man.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but I'm aware of the problems it has.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as good as dialogue choices, which let you say Ivan with a selectable amount of punctuation.
That was kind of great too. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue to be a
Save
bastard.
it for the half-wits. What you can do for me is best done in silence. You knew what was down there. You and all the rest of your tartan-clad trash. So how about less cheddar and more chow? And be quick about it.
Right away. I enjoy a man with a quick tongue. I'll see you get the finest room in the inn. It's the one right next to mine.
So the bard
Okay,
entered
I don't
his
understand the
room
chemistry
to
between
avail
these
himself
two.
of the pleasures
Yeah,
that
I was
the
actually
inn had to
intentionally
offer.
taking the dick option there because I didn't want to have some kind of creepy romance thing with the slutty barmaid who tried to get me killed.
Yes.
But I guess that's not an option. And what is that guy doing in the corner there?
Doing a little jig.
That was
Oh, he's
quite
dancing to the
night.
music, which isn't happening.
You almost made me late opening the bar this morning. Oh, that strange friend of yours is waiting
Oh,
for
so
you
they did
outside.
sleep together.
I had
Yes.
to chase him away. He was unnerving some of my
Despite my
regulars.
best efforts to make
See
that
you
not
later,
happen.
love.
Sleeping with random barmaids in this world seems a good way to like die.
Yeah. So I'm good with the Bard's Tale. I think. I'm not gonna call it terrible.
Is it worth just walking outside to see what like even the yeah? I wonder what
Like-
the post-tutorial loop is even going to be like in that.
I'm assuming it's actually like more adventure game than RPG.
Mm.
Given how that started off, with some light, really bad combat.
Mm.
But that's the thing. That's not what I expected it to be. I will give it that. And I guess I'm gonna label this an RPG.
There were mechanics they were introducing to you there that you didn't even need to use in that encounter.
Yeah. So yeah, that was not what I expected. It was certainly something. And the next game on the list is several games. So I will spend even less time with each one, presumably. And my phone is ringing. So, one moment. Okay, so earlier tonight I was talking to my mother and asking her not to wind up like randomly calling me later today because I was going to be doing the streaming thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she just called me to double check when I was going to be doing it. She shouldn't call, and it's like, right now? So anyway, we have here the Basement Collection, which is the Binding of Isaac guys, old stuff that didn't really warrant a full release.
Oh, neat.
And which is also a little bit loud. Okay, no, I don't want to mute it. I just want to turn it down a little. Which I'm doing manually, I guess. Okay. So. Development time 14 days, huh? So I guess we just got, like, random little mini games here? I know nothing about any of these, of course. That's a nice face. As is that. Again, like if I was gonna like really sit down and play something, I would be reading all this out loud and all that, but I'm just kind of like, let's go already. Oh, this looks...
I'm happy to roleplay any of the ones you need.
Good to know. Okay, I think this feels familiar. I think I played this on some Flash site when it was first released.
Oh, huh.
I also think I should have looked at those instructions slightly more carefully, because... what do?
It's kind of interesting to think about that, like, a lot of Flash sites had small experimental arty things
Can we
that
try that again and actually not, like, space out at the last minute?
people didn't, like, react nearly as poorly to as, like, a lot of the small arty stuff
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool experimentation on old Flash sites, if you can find any that are still around. Like, I think Congregate is still rolling. I think
I've
it's like...
heard Newgrounds is actually, like, less terrible lately.
Okay. WC to move, W to jump. When lashed onto a cloud, what you do with the mouse. Okay. So... this is nice and chill and weird. Not the best swingy, grapply physics, but...
Getting them to, like, look that convincingly like a tense wire without it, like, freaking out is pretty impressive from a mathematical standpoint.
The game that, to this day, impresses me the most there is, Umihara Kawase, or Yumi's Odd Odyssey.
The fish hook one?
Yes. Which, if you've never played it in any form, there have been like 5 sequels in recent years, oddly enough, that have been on various platforms and actually like come out in the US. One was released on, I know, the 3DS, and there's like, I think a Switch one now? Come back, Moon. Where, like the original SNES one though, like the physics are so complicated for the system it's on, and like everything else about the game is so bizarre, just stylistically and thematically and mechanically even, where it's just like, here are, I don't know, like 62 levels that are like randomly interconnected. Like there's multiple exits from each level, and you don't necessarily go in order, and it's just kind of like a dozen paths through the game. And then there's this weird mechanic to it where there's this global timer where after, what, like 20 something minutes, you just finish whatever level you're in, and then it just goes to credits.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
On top of the actual endings. So it's like a very bizarre experience, and like the whole game was like a promotional thing for like a convenience store or something. Which, am I like actually heading over there? I have to... There we go. So that's all very bizarre.
The gravity actually changes the higher you get. That's neat.
On the clouds too, just kind of thin out to these. So this is very like, spot.
NPC.
And I think I'm now actually falling towards the thing that I'm aimed at. I do want to actually check out one of the other planets here before I just go back to the menu. But yeah, like the physics in that are so impressive. When you like hook a fish and you like walk off a platform and it drags it along and winds up like catching the other side and fulcrums out and just... So this is like an interesting little experiment here. And presumably is very puzzly. Should I have given it the whole... Yeah, this was apparently like fully made in 14 days. That's cool. I'm just kind of touring around here. That's a way to censor things. Yeah, I think I played all of these on like Congregate or something back in the day. So this is like feeling very familiar. And we're getting very artsy with the interfaces here. You see? But yeah, so there's been a lot of sequels to that since. I have the one on the 3DS. And it's like even more aggressively like time attack based.
Oh, interesting.
So just like the default is, you know, like beat this in this very short amount of time by like really mastering the physics. But yeah, I'm glad that they like revived that series because it originally started out as this like weird, obscure, nobody had heard of this. It was published by like a convenience store game. And this is a different kind of like lost era of games right here. Just take this in.
I appreciate this author's consistent aesthetic of depression.
Yeah, Binding of Isaac itself, I'm kind of on the fence with.
Oh yeah? I haven't actually played it.
Well, it starts with the B, so I might get to it here. Okay, here again we have my issue of, like, talk less. Okay. Whoops. A mechanic. Okay, I definitely played this before. This is, like, immediately ringing a lot of bells. But yeah, so Binding of Isaac.
What was the gimmick on that level?
I don't know. Spikes are bad? But yeah, so Binding of Isaac, it's this like very Zelda 1 flavored action roguelike thing. Of just here's this grid of rooms, there's monsters in them, occasional treasure, some boss fights at the end. Okay. And you know, like 5,000 power-ups, of course, because action roguelike, that's the thing.
That's so true.
I wasn't paying attention. What was it?
To get through life, one must lift up heavy blocks.
Ah. Oops. Wrong button.
Maybe you need to do the right one first.
No, I just need to not switch modes instead of when I'm trying to put something down. Yeah, that's just fine. But yeah, so like Binding of Isaac has this very distinct aesthetic to it of just like abortion imagery. And like it's not necessarily doing it just for like edgy's sake reasons, but it's still very off-putting. Oops. Okay. I am just done. Because there's a lot more to get through here. Such as... this looks like a thing. I like how all these have map editor too. But yeah, so it's like... I know it's just not just being edgy for edgy's sake, but it's still really off-putting. And then, like, mechanically, it's like there's way too many power-ups, and they're not really all that obvious how they all work and work together.
Too many? Like, more than, like, Risk of Rain?
Like, on par with Risk of Rain. But you get them, you know, much less frequently and have, like, a limit number you can hold, and...
And you don't find that, like, adds to it?
I mean, it can, but it's also, like... There's a really high, steep learning curve to it. Oh, okay, that's our mechanic. It's... Gotcha. It's just like, okay, so there's some factor of I need to, okay, I got limited supply there. Gotcha.
Oh, you can eat it!
Okay, there's a little earth bottom too, so.
I guess you need to carry the, like, add to your momentum as you're moving upward, rather than at the peak of your jump.
Okay, there it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that I know it's limited supply, I'm not going to puke half it into the garbage like that again. Okay. It's actually fairly,
I
like...
how there's a fake statistic on every end screen.
Mm-hmm. This is actually very good. It's a unique mechanic in an interesting way. There's a, like, subversive anti-Kirby thing going on with it.
Clever.
Yes, this is cool. But, oops, I did not mean to window that. Hopefully that did not screw things up in the stream. Let me just double check. Are we
Nope,
still streaming
still
okay?
see it.
Okay. Oh, so it's locked? Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, neat.
So let me just, yeah, play with the ones that are unlocked at least. Briefly. Okay, This looks like one of these.
I like the music in these.
But yeah, Binding of Isaac is just like... Oh, how do I attack? Oh, okay. I get this. This is... This is an interesting mechanic. So I can just kind of combo a bunch like that. Okay. Gotcha. Concept gotten. Human abandoned. And then... Oh, there's a lot in here, too. Oh! Oh, is it the same developer?
I remember that logo and music.
Wait, were Meat Boy and Binding of Isaac the same person? Or am I just...
I don't think so.
Am I just totally off on the, Binding of Isaac?
Oh wait, the same, like, author? Yes.
Okay.
Or at least one of them.
Yep. So, yeah. I remember this game. This is actually a really solid platformer, even the, like, initial version here. Just with the sticky walls and crazy wall jumping stuff going on. This is also one of those few games where it's like very, very spikes everywhere, but I'm here for it. Because it's like, at a certain point, it's ridiculous enough that, you know, you're clearly on the joke. But yeah, okay, I've played Meat Boy. Like, I know how it works. And what else we got here? Just some music. Yeah, I think I did play, like, most of these at one point back in the day when they were first uploaded to various Flash sites, and they are, like, good little games. I kind of, like, hate that Flash is basically dead now. And so much stuff like this has been, like, lost to time. Or at least has become, like, much harder to get a hold of. And I mean... Well, I shouldn't say it's, like, lost, because... I know my browser, I have the option to turn Flash on if I want to. And sites like, you know, Congregate and Newgrounds and Jay's Games still exist.
I don't miss websites putting Flash where it definitely didn't belong.
Yep.
I don't miss Flash intros to websites that decidedly did not need them. It's kind of funny that Flash was never really, like, intended as a games platform. But that's, like, the only good application of it.
Oh, this is some bizarre controls. Okay, now I get it. Just drag each limb around. And these all have, like, very soothing soundtracks going on, too. Okay, yeah. Idea gotten. And then there's a couple more games in the collection, but...
I dare say there's a new mechanic incoming.
No, true. But... that's the basement collection is. It's a bunch of, yeah, Edward McMillan's old Flash games in a very well-presented little anthology, honestly.
That's pretty good packaging.
And there's some quality games in there, honestly. But one thing I just remembered that I was going to go out of my way to show off here, though, is the Kingdom games. I had the first one too. I'm just skipping right to New Lands because it's the same basic game, and this is just it's one of those series where, you know, there are upgrades all across the board, and there's no reason to go back to the first one. But it's similar to, you know, like a city builder thing, but this is it. And, oh, actually, hang on. Am I streaming this to you? Let me...
It's on Twitch, but not screen
Yep,
share.
hang on. Here we go. So,
Thank you.
beautiful game. So, yeah, you're the king or queen. It's totally random. You got some people around. The sole mechanic, which, okay, what are the actual controls again? It's been forever. Why do I not remember the controls to this game? It's like 2-button controls. I should really know what the other button is. Okay, you know what? Screw it. New game. Yes. Apparently I was far enough along in that it doesn't want to give me the tutorial, and the very start is very nice. But yeah, it's a very minimalistic city builder. Plus now Amgirl, that's much better. So yeah, you're the monarch on your horse there. Double tap to run.
Dig the pixel reflections.
Oh yeah, the water is gorgeous. Here's a ghost of a past player, basically. Oh yeah, and the horse gets tired eventually. He needs to stop and eat some grass if you run around too hard. So we got money. And oh, it's just down. I was hitting up. So you basically spend money by hitting the down arrow, or drop it on the ground for these raggedy bums to grab, or spend in your shops, or excuse me, like grab that coin. Yeah, I'll be back for that. So yeah, hammer for an engineer, and then little lumps in the ground here let you build a wall or upgrade it. I did need this tutorial. It's been a while.
Very cool the way they've done this with such minimal controls.
Yeah, it's a one-handed game. It's just left, right, down. So the idea is, off in the woods, there are these little camps of just homeless rag-herd people, which are always in the woods. However, like, you need wood. So there is this trade-off of, okay, do I cut down this forest? Oh, I need a little bit more cash. Hang on. Somebody dropped the coin over here, didn't they? You, give me money. Thank you. If they're carrying, they'll just toss it to you if you need it. It's kind of nice. There we go. So there's a trade-off, right? Of like, I need to clear out some forests to like expand farmland and land and stuff like that, but then I have to go farther to find new citizens. So like these trees, I don't really need for anything. Let's mark them for chopping down. That I can make a farm on eventually. And of course, eventually the sun starts setting, and then you have to worry about monster attacks, which hopefully are coming from the left. I have not had a chance to really scout things out, but
Admire the cleanliness of this design.
Yep. Oh, we got the trader here coming in too. So basically, what you do is you use these rocks as like guard towers, these dirt piles as walls, and just beef up defenses to deal with these horrible little imps coming in through these hell portals to attack you. Those attacks get worse and worse as the game goes on, so it's just kind of early game just a rush to get like the basic defenses for your little budding town. Long term, the issue is that you will eventually get overwhelmed no matter what you do. And he's gonna want a coin eventually to like go trade and make more money. So your actual eventual goal is somewhere out in the world there is like the ruins of a ship, and you just kind of like invest a ton of money in repairing that, load up everybody in your town, and then just like slowly sail off the edge of the map and then start the whole thing over. Or at least this one you start the whole thing over. In the first one, it's like you eventually just win by doing that. But you can also just like get a whole bunch of, you know, soldiers and archers and like lead them over to the portals they're coming in through and destroy those and have some safety. Oh, okay, he was already paying me. Great. So have your coin to do that again. And then let's see what I was going to do. I'll upgrade this. Get a nice little stockade fence here, and then have a little bit of cash here. This, I believe, is starting a farm? Yeah. So I'll need to find some farmers, I'll need something to pay them with. And archers, when they're just, you know, bored, will, like, hunt small animals that turn to coins. They're just kind of the one resource. It's like food / money / HP. When the monsters do attack... Oh, here we go. And yeah, I definitely need to hire a couple people here. We got a camp right here, right? Yeah. Rejoin civilization, you two. I can't afford another farmer yet, but those are good to have. I need to defend that farm. So
This kind of has the problem that a lot of these games in this genre do, in that I sort of like the place before you build over it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a trade-off too, like I said, where like there's value to the woods being just the woods. And I mean, like, I kind of hate doing this thing that you are kind of working to do of just like trying to lure deer towards your archers so that they can take them out, which is one way to spend your precious time. Oh, it's not quite dark yet. Okay. I really want to actually defend this, and I don't see a wall yet. That's annoying. But yeah, so like you need the trees to have the bandit camp, the little like recruitable people camps in. Plus they are just like wonderful to look at. Okay, so I'm going to have to claim this wall or this one. This is I don't like this map.
Does something happen if you just like ride out into the wilderness as far as possible?
You're always on an island actually. Or there's a cliff wall, but it's like a long horizontal stretch before you hit that usually. Yeah, this like goes and goes and goes, and oh, hello, what's this? I will take that, and I should not be this far from town when it's getting this dark, but whatever.
Treasure.
I might like start overflowing here. If you have too much money, it actually starts literally overflowing at the top of your bag.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I'm not getting that yet, but I should also look how well defended the east side is. But yeah, there's interesting trade-offs, right? Of like keeping the woods there for wild animals to spawn in and unemployed people to spawn in, versus opening it up for farmland, which is like the best steady source of income.
You're pretty much incentivized to always expand as much as possible, though, right? Like, the game won't progress otherwise.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you can get somewhere without doing so, to a point. I need to just, like, find the interesting things on this particular map, is the thing. And also spend this, like, giant pile of money that I have, suddenly. take yours. You know what? Have that bow. I will want a second farmer. You know what? Third. Gotta find someone to actually do that work, though. So, like, this tree I don't want to cut down, because if I cut down this tree, this camp is gone.
It no longer counts as the woods if it's not something on both sides.
Yeah. And, oh, here's the actual boat, so this might be a very short one. Let's get that started. Alright, this is like a very easy map, clearly. This is a little shrine you can throw some cash in for, like, I think 3 days worth of bonus of some sort.
So the maps have randomly generated features.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Okay, so there's the portal that demons are going to come out of. And I think on this map, there's probably going to be the one, because it's, in this particular game in the series, there's kind of a progression of, like, the farther you get, the harder it gets. And I did just start over, so this is one of the easier maps, in theory. So, okay, like, yeah, you were just kind of chill out in this nice Happy Woods encampment. I'm going to expand it to the west. I'm going to build this wall up, and I'm going to... yeah, these defenses are going to need improving at some point. It's interesting, too, when the monsters come, because, like, basically what they'll do is they'll run over, find one person, kind of mug them, take their 1 coin, turning them back into one of the jobless people, and then run off.
Those are very lenient demons.
Okay, so now we have my farm going here, which, these farmers are going to be loaded. I'm sure. Yeah. So I can just keep building this up for more and more steady income. I can also go get that treasure chest that was over here, because why not? But ultimately, it's just find that shipwreck, throw a bunch of money into it, and get the hell out as fast as you can, because you will be overwhelmed by the demon hordes that you have not seen yet, because on this map they're way over there.
So what makes the ship special?
It's just kind of the victory condition. Is you throw a bunch of money at it, you build your ship, and then you can, like, have your various military forces get on there and start slowly routing it towards the edge of the map, and jump on yourself, and then go to a new map and start the whole thing over again.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The first game in the series didn't have that mechanic. It just had, like, a portal on each end of the map, and the goal was just take them both out. You know what? Here, have some cash, guys.
This is the second in the series?
I think it is, yeah. The third one is 2-player, which is interesting.
Oh.
It also has, like, this alternate Japanese area, or theming for some maps, I believe.
Oh.
Which I think actually makes some real changes, but I don't have it, so...
Different horse.
Which I can switch to.
You just leave your horse there?
Oh, well, I can only ride the one. And this is, yeah, this is the west side of the map, okay. So there's no danger on this side at all. I just have to worry about the one portal, and the ship is right there, so this shouldn't be too bad.
Had to hire a new horse.
And I think other horses have random stats for, like, endurance and speed and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
But I still say, just, like, the visual style of this is just so gorgeous. The music is nice and soothing. The controls are very simple. It's a one-handed game. You can just kind of, like, drink something or play on your phone while you're playing. But I should, like, do the real stuff, too, and show that off.
Even the sunrise.
And it's interesting, too, like, what a robust little city builder thing there is to it when it's so minimalistic. Because it all is just, like, you know, throw money at your problems in various ways. Like, let's really... Oh, whoops, I was actually accidentally building a guard tower in the middle of the farm, but whatever.
What kind of a guard tower is that? Doesn't look very useful.
Well, it's still being built, but,
right.
It's a little elevated platform, an archer will stand on it, and then have a better angle at What are these again? Oh, this is... Oh, right. This is, expanding out for, building a catapult, I believe. Merchant needs his coin for the day. There you go.
Will the demons have, like, fortifications?
No, but they get, like, big siege units after a while.
Takes a siege unit to kill a siege unit.
Yep. I should actually really build this up as an actual defense. You guys will hire. Can I still afford to add to the boat right now? Alright, you just kind of like buy each plank to put on and have to have workers come deliver them. I should actually have a second worker too, for that matter. And then there's the tax collector here who will basically grab spare money that's building up. Oh, can't afford to, okay. So here you should finally see a fight happening once the sun is all the way down. Farm just doing its farming thing. I find you really usually only the one plot of farmland and you're kind of good to go. And let's get that going. Is this fully upgraded? Oh, right, I think you have to actually officially have walls on both sides. No? What do you have to do to start getting soldiers out there? It's been a while. Okay, so yeah, here's the demons, and they're still coming in fairly slowly, so my archers should handle this, I think. Yep. But eventually they get really rough.
Merchant's just like, saw some demons on the way in. You might want to watch out for that.
Mm-hmm. So let's make that more of a real wall. Bring a catapult over to it just in case. This is a more boring map than I'm used to, too. You guys just chilling out over here? Okay.
What's more exciting map entail?
Well, more exciting maps, you usually have a portal on both sides, or more than one even.
Oh, interesting.
So, because there's some that'll just like appear in the middle of the woods. Not just that one like on the far right edge of the map that I have right now. So you're getting attacked a lot more frequently. There's more concerns about like defense versus infrastructure than what I have here, which is just I need this one wall and this one tower and I'm good. Camps can be like much farther into the woods than this one happened to be.
Yeah, it seems like you got a basically ideal
Yeah.
role here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is actually kind of like taking me off on how like ideal this setup is because it's hard to show off the late game mechanics this way. But let's see, what else can I do here? I guess for now I'm just gonna get that ship built and move on to show off something a little bit more challenging.
Has she been riding that horse side saddle this whole time?
Yes.
I guess if you're wearing a big dress.
So I'm going to actually need a ton of money to finish that boat, too. I'm going to have to do that. There's a lot of interesting stuff with the coin mechanic, too. Like, you have to put a coin in a tree to mark it for destruction, but then you'll get it back when it's done, because it's just kind of sitting there.
I notice your kingdom bears the standard of the mighty squirrel.
I do like how that's always random. And, like, if I were to die right now, I would start over on basically the same map, but that ghost being would be this character.
So you, as the princess, can be attacked directly?
Oh yeah, if I get hit once, my crown falls off. A monster will try to steal it, and that's just the end of the game as soon as they get hold of it. So you have like
I
a
am
chance to
green.
recover Sonic Ring style real quickly.
Oh, I see.
But otherwise, yeah, like just you take a hit, you're done. And okay, this has to be a weird tutorial map because I know I can build these up a lot more than I have them right now. Let's see, just gonna wad up a bunch of cash and then go make a boat. But I really do enjoy this. It's like relaxing and minimalist and really good pixel art. And the reflections in the water like never get old for me. That's just like just gorgeous, especially when the sun's going down. You have a little flickering lights in there.
I like this little touch too, how emissive things like torches have more of a vertical smear to them in the reflections than everything else does.
Yeah. Here's some more coming in. And
Is there friendly fire?
there is not.
That's
There
good.
is like actually having to have the arrows get over the wall at the right angle, but yeah, I lost some HP on that, and do not have the option to rebuild it until it's like gone, unfortunately. And I think that was it for that whole wave tonight, so let me take a stupid risk and just get this started early. Okay, save at least one to keep the merchant coming in and making those trade routes. Here go my two builders.
I noticed that you've installed church bells without the church. I guess you don't need a church to have bells.
But it's also kind of like... I think I actually might expand this farm out this way, because this is taking forever. Take that, wilderness. And I'll probably have to get another builder to make sure that's really going. And then anybody left can just be an archer for now.
You've got a
Actually,
couple
really.
more unemployed people.
Yep. But it's such a smooth interface, too, for all this, of just splash money around, collect money from people. Yeah, I could hire you guys on, but, like, I need some more cash.
Cloud even has like weather effects, like the clouds
Oh,
appearing
yeah.
in the background and the rain over top. Rain hitting the water. It's very
Oh, that's
nice.
another thing, too. If a map goes on long enough, there's actually this seasonal cycle
Oh wow.
where you'll, like, eventually hit winter, and then, like, your farms will no longer be producing.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, I want to at least finish this one and start another one and get, like, hopefully a more hostile setup to show what that's like. And yeah, I'm, like, not producing much in the way of income. These
Oh, there's the merchant.
these archers don't really have enough, like, wilderness to hunt in over here.
There was another waterfall back there, so I assume that lets you build a second farm.
Yep, that's what I'm planning to do once I have the cash for it. And yeah, those are often, like, way in the woods, too, so it's like steady source of workers or steady source of income. Pick one. And then you also need to worry about the fact that, like, you can't just build defenses anywhere. You need these little mounds for walls and these little rocks for towers. And you ideally want to have both in this sort of setup to really defend anything. Why not? Okay, no, it's not time for you to go off yet. Okay.
So is there a point in not building a farm right away?
Sometimes it's not going to build a farm right away just because you don't really, like, have a good place to do it. And you have to, like, go out to an undefended bit of wilderness to really make the effort, and...
Oh, at the waterfall out at the left perimeter, I meant.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I am about to be attacked, I think. So eventually there's more than just this one kind of unit, too, coming out of the portals. And there's just, like, big ol' horrible siege golems and stuff like that, and... Okay, that should be it for that wave. So let me just throw basically all this cash at the boat.
But not the farm.
Oh yeah, I was gonna do the farm, thank you for reminding me. Let's get a start on that. And sometimes, too, because, like... Again, every night is worse than the night before for the attacks. And there's that eventual threat after, like, 10 or 12 days of winter starting to come in, and, you can no longer get this nice, stable farming income. So it's like, your time becomes really precious, and just, like, heading all over the map is more and more of a thing to deal with. Okay, so yeah, I've got, like, 3 farmers. They seem to be bored enough to need more land. That should work out. Here, have some grass. But yeah, the real end goal here is just to throw way too much money into this pile of planks by the boat. Now, which I have to have people wander up one by one to actually build, of course. Oh. Let me just throw one more on there then. Probably shouldn't because it's starting to get dark, but you can handle this, right? I just want to, like, watch now. You can also just throw money on the ground to distract the little demons a little bit.
Oh, they like money?
Mm-hmm. They'll just grab the coin and run back to the portal with it, instead of terrorizing civilians. Okay, now you should, like, go back inside now. It's not good here.
Can villagers be attacked by demons outside city limits?
Oh, yeah.
Then?
They definitely can, and it'll just, like, turn them into those people in the camps. There you go. And yeah, I think there's some, like, tech treeness to this version of the game where a couple maps in you have more options.
Oh, it actually changes after you've looped. That's neat.
Yeah. Because I remember, like, normally you can get, you know, a bunch of, like, soldiers with, you know, like, swords and shields that will also gather up along the edges of your furthest wall out that you can throw a coin at to charge forward and try to, like, actually attack the portals.
Neat.
But for now, it's just kind of kicking back with a bunch of archers and farmers. Did I not make this a full farm yet? Apparently not. Let's watch the fight. This must be happening by now. There's like no way. There's no undo in this game. Like, if you built a wall, there's a wall there, and people will treat that as your outermost border and hang out by it. So.
Might be enough for the farm now, at least.
Mm-hmm. I probably need another farmer because that was unattended, actually. But
Oh no!
Okay, so today I'm going to get that merchant money. I think. Oh, there
Is the
he
merchant on a once per day cycle?
The merchant's on a once per day cycle as long as you give him a coin in the morning.
Right, right. Gotta spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a formality too, because like, are you gonna pay out today?
Yeah,
Is
why
the
don't
sun
they
not-
just keep a coin?
Come on, let's make it the money, pal.
I think the merchant's over there talking to the hammer or something.
Yeah. Did any archers like do any early morning hunting yet? No. Well, this is the tax collector actually.
Oh, I see.
Who will kind of like hold spare money when you start to overflow, essentially, and just kind of like bring it inside for you. Like, yeah, you have a coin. This is the merchant, and I guess he is feeling lazy today and doesn't want to do anything for me. Weird.
Yeah, it's cloudy.
Well, and you didn't do any hunting yet. Is the farm doing anything? It's usually a lot more fast-paced than this too. Like, what am I paying you guys for? Come on.
It's interesting how it's kind of self-balancing around having such a gentle seed. Wait, didn't you have one more coin than before?
I tossed one to the tax collector for the heck of it. Oh, there's some money. Okay. So now I can get this actual second farm plot up, but I clearly need more farmers because they're not really doing the thing over on this side enough. But I've got people around. So just gotta come over here. I'm not entirely sure I have that many people, so I should do it. Hopefully. Might be one short. And it's gonna be siege time again. Shortly.
I like how they're out in the woods living off the land and then they see a single coin on the ground and they go into a full-on sprint like, money!
Yep. I also like that, like, they don't get killed by the demons, they just get re-enslavened and just kind of start drifting towards the nearest camp. But, let's see. I think I'm mostly done with the ship, too. Just, this is really relaxed for me, for what I'm used to.
Guess it's Saturday and that merchant just doesn't feel like it.
Okay, do I have enough people manning these farms now to actually not have the crops go to waste? 2 per should do it, I think. Might be better to have 3. Oh, I do have 3 on one of them, okay. That's one aspect of the game that I don't like totally know all the balanced math for. Okay, day 9.
The demons aren't even coming every night.
Weird. Or they came in just, I missed it. Okay, now you can go do your thing. I had to give it to you, right? Yeah, okay, dude. Off he goes. Cool. Now, I will hire one more person because I think I might need another farmer. Excuse me. I'm hiring him. Give that back. Thank you. Then I'm just going to...
Should have him drawn and quartered in the public square.
Yeah, I gotta put the whole little railing on there, don't I?
Safety first.
Yep. I think there's also an advantage to just, like, open plains with no construction, because, like, you know, you wall in whatever you own, and then there's just no grass or anything, so your horses can't eat it, there's no little rabbits coming in for hunters to take out. This is all going well over here, I think, now. But Nobody's paying out. Just take your time with that.
Even the foggy sky, this is really neat.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's impressive for the resolution this has that the graphics are so, like, lush and detailed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have seen much higher production value games that are much uglier.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter V comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. And the water effect especially, and, I mean, when you do get into winter, it does stuff like have it slowly start to ice over and get a little slushy.
It's
Very
kind
cool.
of weird now I think of it. There are no, like, modern fighting games with just, like, nice low-res art.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, traditionally there haven't been either. Like, the original Street Fighter was really pushing things in arcades. And then we got into the era of stuff like, you know, Darkstalkers with its just very, very detailed and splashy 2D visuals, and then bad-looking 3D fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
And now 3D fighting games going out of their way to look like 2D.
And we still have Elena's horrible rotoscoped dance being what everyone
Yeah.
points to as the epitome of
yeah.
2D sprites.
Yeah, I wasn't streaming it, but was playing some old fighting games in some like dedicated fighting game arcade emulator that Hazel pointed out, and Street Fighter 3 is not charming visually, in my opinion.
Don't like gamers hear you say that.
Like they put a lot of work into it. I just don't dig the aesthetic.
I thought that Second Impact had like much prettier backgrounds and stuff than Third Strike too. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's just starting to. That's why you had the catapult.
Demon's one weakness, a rock.
Mm-hmm. But even the catapults won't work once it gets to the really big sieges. So I should really get this boat done already. Oh, they do repair the walls a little bit. Okay, that's nice. Just come on, come on. We're almost done with this thing.
Did those fall in the water?
I don't think so. They just no, they pile up right there, kind of under my feet right now. It does look like they're falling into the water, though. Yeah. Ooh. Thank you, hunters. Come on, let's get this done. I do like how anybody will pick up money they find on the ground, and then we'll always give it back to you if you stop long enough near them.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm down a body. No, I did have that farmer. Okay. And I am almost done with this map, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, oh, especially if that's going to happen. Anybody else have any for me? Technically.
Oh, so the farmers are producing the coins from their field and then picking them up.
Yep. But yeah, you might see it if I need to mess around, but if you get to a point where you have too much money, it literally spills out the top of that little bag indicator and falls on the ground.
Ha.
So the reason this guy is like he will take any money that's really just piling up and throw it into the little heap here in the middle that you can then access to like have long-term savings.
Oh yeah, fully repaired wall.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pick up the rocks though.
Yep. I am getting paranoid enough to hire another archer, though. This is, like, a little hairy. Last night with the big panel on the wall. And there are some nights we don't get attacked, and I think there's some indicator for it, like not seeing the big scary moon or something like that, but it's been a while, and I haven't been watching the sky that often because I keep wandering off into the woods where you can't really see it. Which is another thing I kind of like, is if you're like deep in the forest, it looks dark all the time.
Interesting.
So you kind of like lose track of what the sun's actually doing.
That's neat.
Hmm. And I'm also thrown off because I'm not used to having like the only portal being so far away from that wall that it takes them all night to get here. Probably not staying that close. Yeah, it's still holding up. That's good. And that should be the whole wave, so... let's get this going, and hopefully done. It's quite the investment, frankly, to get the whole thing built.
Mm. I actually need to use the washroom, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
And back.
Yep. And I think I just finished that ship, so I should be finishing this map out shortly.
Nice.
Just need to endure one more overnight attack and find some grass for this horse, because it's kind of annoying.
I might want to wrap after this map. I'm kind of running out of
Oh,
stamina.
sure. See, this is now... oh, it's not quite built, but like... gotta be close. It's something like 40 coins total to finish the thing.
Mm.
It's amusing that it's always this like 2 coin investment at a time too, so it's like you're never quite sure how close it is to done, but you just keep throwing money at it, and it's like okay. So it should be the last little siege, and then yeah, please actually get inside. All the way. Ooh, we got a blood moon. That's not a good sign. Yeah. Thank you for trying to get inside. should be it.
Have you seen when there's like blood on the moon in real life? It's very cool.
It is. Okay, so it's almost done.
Last board doesn't actually need to be installed by a builder, I guess.
So my archers are all running out there to get on board. And gradually start moving it off to the new destination. At a pace, frankly. And I have lost while this is going on, too, because, like, you still get attacked while everybody's loaded up on the ship. What's interesting, though, too, is... Oh, sure. Well, you do start over a new map. Whatever you get onto the ship, you take with you. So, like, whatever coins you have left over, you get to start with the start. Whatever archers you have loaded up on there, stay loaded up on there. And you kind of get a nice little, like, if you finish out one map in a good place, you start out the next one with some momentum. Which is clearly going to happen here because... Yeah. You almost got the saw there. What happened? Overflow, yeah. Especially because this has something now, so... Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, and it fell into
Oh,
the
no,
water.
did it fall in the lake?
Yep.
Does that mean it's gone?
Yep.
How do you make it not fall in the lake?
I would go over to this little tax collector guy here and toss him a couple so that it's not going to be an issue. And then later on I can just come back and get them from him again. But yeah, there's a cap on your cash and it will eventually overflow, quite literally.
I assumed it would just fall on the ground.
Nope. So yeah, these people are just going to have to march this all the way across the map now. Which is not the most exciting part of this game, frankly. But, yeah.
Maybe if they opened the sail, it wouldn't be so slow.
Well, you gotta wait until you get, like, out to open water to do that, I guess. Is, the idea. Let's make sure I have enough actual archers out here, too. Like, oh yeah, like, make sure you really defend the west wall where there's nothing. That's what I wanted to say. So when things get really rough, you get to the point where it's like, I got my boat on the safe side of town, which is good because like the walls are starting to crumble in these attacks. It's just like keep them busy while we sneak out as many survivors as we can. Sorry, the rest of you are just doomed to face the demons alone. I'm royalty. I'm more important than you.
Another problem with the framing of these games is they want to like put the player in the role of like a primary decision maker, but that usually ends up being like framing these civilizations as like the wealth flowing from the nobility.
Mm-hmm. It is kind of interesting too.
Organize
like
all of your peasant lives.
Like all I'm really doing as leader here is moving the money around.
Yeah, you just showed up with a horse and a crown and no skills.
Yep.
Presumably they would have kept living in their wilderness camps and been just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose it's realistic in that regard.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, now I just need to walk this all along, and the way this map generated, like, there's so much emptiness to the left here that we're gonna have to get through. But I kind of want to see this through and, like, show you the new map loading in is the thing. And I'm, like, I'm overcommitted at this point. It's a sunk cost fallacy thing. I should have said, okay, so you get the idea, and let's move on to something else, but... Thank you. Sorry. So let's see, just as you walk along, how much do I have to sail past? And I do hate that, like, deer are essentially just a source of income. Because they're very nice and majestic as they prance around. It's like, yeah, but ultimately I just want to, like, lure you to my archers. Ugh. Like, even at horse speed, this is a lot. Curse you map for, like, starting the city so far away from the coast. Oh. Hey, guys. See, this is the actual dock. No. Oh, dear gods, how long is this going on for? Oh, right, because there's these horses and then this whole other forest, and then... There's the actual end of it. Okay.
So the next map is predicated on waiting for the boat to travel this distance.
Yep.
Okay.
So anyway, that's Kingdom. It's a very good series. Nice, relaxed, 2D city builders. I enjoy them.
Oh, that's very cool.
And
Thank you for showing me
usually
that.
the map isn't that chill and boring, and there's a lot more quickly running around and making sure the walls are up and expanding and all that. But yeah, there's a few games in the series now, and the latest one is, I think, Kingdom 2 Crowns, which has 2-player simultaneous multiplayer, so it's like you stay home and make sure that we're keeping all the farm income going. I'm going to go out into the woods and scout around. Coordination going on, which is kind of neat. And then the first one, which is just like a solid challenge of like, here's 30 days after the first 10 and everything's frozen. Kill the demons before they overwhelm you. But I believe at this point you said you were getting kind of tired.
Oh yeah, I might want to go make some more food and then figure out what I'm doing next. But I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yep. Let me just close this out then with a very brief period of playing a very simple game for like a minute. Because I want to not end on the note of like, okay, let me mostly play the way through this game that's being very boring.
No, it was nice and atmospheric.
A little bit of this should do nicely. Good old Bit Trip Pete.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
Very straightforward game. It's like rhythm game plus Pong, essentially. And part of a whole, like, weird sort of series, which mostly are like rhythm game plus platformer. And more of interest than I remembered. Oddly enough, I'm used to playing this on a controller, having had some bundle of, like, I want to say it was 3DS games that had it in it. but the main gimmick, aside from the obvious here, is as you get a big combo going, it changes the video and music style a bit in ways that frankly get a little overwhelming at times. It also does more complicated things with the balls you're bouncing. Like, I'm sure it's going to start with it any second now, right?
It's starting to sort of say hyper.
Mm-hmm. But like, after a point, there's ones that are coming in like with this weird pulsing pattern that delay and range you have to keep in mind, and here we go. So like this, and then ones that like bounce twice. Okay, here we go with the. And I've just gotten that combo really going too. So it eventually just becomes like too chaotic to see what you're doing. You just inevitably start missing everything, and that's it. But
it's cool how the music actually provides information, since it's telegraphing when the next contact will be made.
Yep. Yeah, after a while, and I'm kind of at the point now, like, you need the audio cues because good luck seeing what you're doing. And if you have a really good combo going too, it's like the audio is more filled out. Which I would have really going right now, but I just screwed up. Oh, here we go.
Big ones change something?
I think there's more points. Or indicated that something's going to, like, ramp up suddenly. Oops. Yeah, so I missed, and it kind of half muted the audio there. Here's ones where it's like two packed at the same time. Big walls of which technically just that many dots lined up.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you have to like really center it. And gotta love those big comments just obscuring half the screen. That's why I don't think this wall's been so long. Yeah, these ones pause for a second, which...
I noticed the instruments change.
Yep. Well, that's like, again, if I start doing really well, it gets more filled out with more instruments, and then if I start missing, then it fades them out until game over. Which, like, I appreciate that level of audio feedback. These ones are a pain because they're not quite impacting the same spot.
Yeah, it looks like they require like a small adjustment mid-triad.
Yep. Yeah, as Pong Variations Out go, it's fairly interesting. It does fun stuff with the soundtrack here. Just adapting to what you're doing.
Game that just takes a really simple concept and then it's like, okay, how much can we flesh this out?
Okay, now
I tend to respect those a lot more than the ones that just keep stacking up the stuff.
Okay, so I did almost get my full instrumentation back here at least.
Oh, those pause ones are nerve-wracking.
Yep. There's kind of like a combo bar in my score there, too, you can see. Ooh, that's rude. Ooh, that's really rude.
Ooh. Seems like a game that's very well self-tutorialized. Like the mechanics of any given thing are immediately apparent.
Holy cow, I've never actually gotten this far, I don't think.
Makes me curious to look up what a perfect run of this even looks like. Nether. Oh, it's getting spooky.
Ooh. Did not realize that was something that would happen. And yeah, I was about to lose, and it like really cuts off the music and the splash visuals and turns into just old school Pong style things.
That's kind of neat.
Oh. So I expect this should be like a minute, but I'm doing okay.
Oh, you were expecting like a hard game over by now?
Oh yeah.
Well done then.
I'm also, like I said, used to playing this on a console where you have like a freaking what do I even do with that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm used to this with a D-pad input for actually controlling this, which makes it significantly harder, generally speaking. Sometimes easier with this mouse because it like gets finicky on me sometimes.
Mice strike me as much easier for this kind of game.
Yeah. Oh, I had a paddle extension there for a second, which kind of need for these. Holy cow.
I think you need to move mid-hit.
Yep.
Yeah, like that. Oh no!
This is probably going to be it soon, because this is... yeah, that's... So that's Bit Trip Beat. It is what it is, and but it's very nice for what it is. Like...
That was kind of spooky. Right as you hit the game over there, just from not touching the mouse, my whole screen went black, and it was like it hijacked my computer.
Yep. Yeah, I think I did halfway decently there. Like, it's kind of annoying you have to do that to actually confirm menu selections. But yeah, that was Bit Trip Beat, which... nice little Pong clone, honestly, when you were down to it. Just wrapping things out. So you have to get some stuff done. I should probably eat something myself. That was another several hours of just playing random stuff in my Steam library. That was like about half the bees, honestly. Oh no, actually it was nowhere near half the bees. Whoops. Things that did
you
not.
have a few more than me.
I mean, there's the whole Back to the Future series, Bastion, BattleTech, Beat Hazard, Beat Buddy, Beep, Before the Echo, The Beginner's Guide, Besiege, Betrayer, Beyond Divinity, Beyond Eyes, Binding of Isaac, Bionic Commando, Bionic Dues, Bit Dungeon 2, Bit Trip Runner, Black Lake Prototype, Black Mesa, Block Story, Blocks That Matter, Legends of Borderlands, Borealis, Brazen, Breath of Death 7, The Bridge, Broforce, Broken Age, Broken Sword, and Burnout Paradise left to go in the Bs. But I'll probably skip over to stuff starting with C next time I do this, to just kind of space things out.
Well, at least a few of those were, I imagine as you get farther into the alphabet, that's going to get really hard to keep track of. But
Well,
I noticed at least a couple multiplayer titles in there. So.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm trying to like add a category to all of them after I play them, so that I can like check them off the list of things that I've done my brief preview of, and also
Maybe
for
add
that
them to
matter,
a played on stream category.
yeah, also for that matter, like sorting out my stream library because I just have this in a big alphabetic dump at the moment, which does not make it easy to find a given game, frankly. But anyway, yeah, that was that. I will probably be back with more of this, I don't know, tomorrow, next few days, sometime. But for now, let me just type a little.
Thanks very much, and see you all next time.
Yep. /raid for fish there. We were playing Risk of Rain 2 the other day.
I wonder if the one raider is me, so I'm going to close
Probably.
that tab.
Probably.
Okay, good night, everyone.
See ya.